everybody. And now the new book is not as cooperative.
All right.
All right. We're live, it looks like. Right, Adam?
Yep.
You're live on YouTube, it says.
Okay. Oh, did you get that phone to silence?
Yep. Trying to.
All right. Welcome to what was kind of the May 28th meeting, now June 2nd. We're a little off schedule still, but hoping to return to some semblance of normalcy going forward, but we'll talk more about that at the end of the meeting. Want to recognize anybody from our public base who might be joining us via YouTube. You will have a chance to ask questions or make comments through Alex at the end of the meeting. Do this like we've done the other Zoom meetings. Please raise your hand and be recognized to speak, and we will do a roll call vote. And with that, Les will not be joining us. Hi, Debbie. There we go.
Hey, sorry I'm late.
That's all right. We're still missing Mike Black Belt, but we had a quorum, so we're just saying hello. First order of business is to approve both the April 9th, 2020 meeting minutes and the May 4th. I'd suggest we can do these together. Has everyone reviewed, and does anyone have any comments or corrections or deletions on either of those dates?
I move to approve both the April and May meeting minutes as presented.
Thank you, Michael. May I have a second?
Second.
All right. It has been moved and seconded that we approve both the April 9th and May 4th meeting minutes. We will take a roll call vote. Mary Jane?
Aye.
Michael K?
Aye.
Laura Shell?
Aye.
Debbie?
Aye.
Pam? Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. We will skip the treasurer's report until we see the whites of Mr. Blackwell's eyes, hopefully here in a second. And do you mind going ahead with your manager's report, Adam?
Yeah, I can do that. And if Mike doesn't pop on here soon, I can go ahead and do that as well.
Okay.
For the manager report, the kind of one of the biggest pushes for this meeting was to stay in line with our time frame for the bonding and then our required actions as a governmental agency. What we have first in the manager's report is resolution 06-2004, entitled Tentative Adoption, Drawing Specifications and Cost Estimates for the Sediment Management Project. Essentially what this resolution is showing is that it's our first official statement of what we plan to do, the actions we plan to take, and the tentative costs and debts that we tend to incur. We can move around the cost in there. This is really just kind of saying, hey, we're tentatively adopting this. Here's what we're doing. So it does include our preliminary engineering report, as well as maps on the disposal site locations. These are not creations. These are not actually showing what the disposal sites will look like finally. It's not the design work for that, just showing what areas we will be using and what we hope to accomplish. So I'm not sure if there's any questions on that. The kind of one of the biggest things is that the resolution is stating that we will cap the project at $1.2 million. So depending on disposal site cost, that will kind of show what we're going to take out as far as dirt wise. I know there was some numbers from Christopher Burke that we did receive. He said within that he was showing cost for berm creation and excavation. Would likely, he said, only be charged one of those fees since they won't be handling the dirt twice. We'll use the dirt on site. I also think we'll be able to do a very large portion, if not the majority of this work in-house. And depending on how the dredging season goes, I would like to start potentially in October, around that area, doing some of the disposal site prep ourselves. We will not need the funding to start that. We only need our Rule 5 permit that has been submitted, and that's going to be about a 30 to 45 day process to receive that. Do you have any questions on the resolution?
I guess the only thing can I speak?
Yes, go ahead, Debbie.
I called Adam earlier to just discuss it. And I think what we're, not considering here is the financing and how we're going to pay for it, but this just keeps us moving down the path. So I think that that's why we need this resolution to submit to SRF and other people so that we can keep that moving. But I would also just encourage us, especially with this new dump truck, to do as much of the site prep, the things that you've just indicated, Adam, as we can.
Absolutely.
And then
I'm sorry, Adam, go ahead.
I was going to say, I believe it's in September when we do pass the resolution for the finalized budget, and that would include the bond repayment cost in that. So this is just looking at the actual project work.
Right.
Then once we finally approve it all, we'll include those in the repayment costs and calculations.
That's part of why I'm thankful for this Zoom ability to meet. This is not my favorite. I'd rather see you all in person, but this has helped us keep all the balls in the air and not get stalled out. Mike
Sure.
B, hi, welcome. Didn't mean to not say hello to you. Are you with us?
I'm with you, I think.
Okay. Any other questions or thoughts on Adam's first point?
Oh, the only other thing I would
Gotcha.
add is that maybe Adam should have stated that the Lake Health group really met and vetted this and looked over it. Correct? Am I correct about that? You, Pam, and Adam, and yeah. So that made me feel
that last Friday to look over this.
We did. Okay, do you want to go back to the treasurer's report? Mike B, are you prepared to give your treasurer's report? We just skipped to Adam's first point, but we can go backward and let you take care of your item on the agenda if you care to. Mary Jane?
Do we need to vote on the resolution?
We do, and I saw Michael Klitzing's hand come up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to motion to approve.
Okay,
resolution.
thank you. Yes, you're right.
I move to approve resolution 06-20-04 as presented.
Second.
All right, may I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Laura. It has been moved and seconded that we approve resolution 0620-04. Any further discussion? All right, we'll do a roll call vote again. Mary Jane?
Aye.
Michael K?
Aye.
Laura?
Aye.
Debbie?
Aye.
Mike? B?
Yes.
Pam? Yes, aye. All right, motion carries. Thank you. All right, Mike B, how about your treasurer's report?
Real quick, March 2020, we had income of 11,936, and we had expenses of 36,026 for a net negative 24,090. And then April, almost identical, income of 6,193, expenses of 34,993, net income negative 28,800. I'm assuming everybody got those in their packet. So, a couple of negative months there, but obviously we got through the bad part of the virus there, and hopefully things will start turning around for us. If you want me to just do both months of the report of claims, we can do that.
I think Debbie had a question. Did
Oh,
I
sorry.
see her?
I had a question for Adam because our revenues through April are down 15,000. Our expenses are up 15,000, which is causing the deficit 31,000. So like on the watercraft permits, like for example, you think that's just a timing issue? I mean, that's the biggest decrease. You think that's going to come back? That's going to replenish?
I do, and you're correct. A lot of it was the watercraft permits when we were not open there, but most of the people that buy annuals will come and still buy them. At the end of April, it was showing, I think, the negative 15,000, 16,000 down from last year. In the May financials, we will come out even. We are actually up in May deposit 16,000 and change. Because of the past sales, and then because we were able to go in go ahead and knock out quite a few private jobs to supplement that revenue. So once we come out of May, we should be looking pretty even keel compared to last year.
Okay, thank you.
Mary Jane, I see a hand.
Yeah, I lost my train of thought for a second. I would strongly suggest, because I have noticed as I've been out on the lake, that there are lots of people that are out on the lake that don't have Lake Lemon stickers, and I know a lot of them are freeholders. So I think it would be good if we sent out a constant contact memo to our freeholders, reminding them that they can buy passes and how to do it.
That's a very good idea. And we have started doing patrols to look for tags as well, but I
Good.
think constant contact would be good.
All right.
And another post on Facebook would be good too.
Yeah.
Mhm. That's a good thought. All right, Mike B.
I just will accept a motion to approve the report of claims for March, April 2020. If there's no more discussion or questions.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All right, it has been moved and seconded. Roll call vote, Mary Jane, any further discussion? Sorry. Nope, okay. Mary Jane, how do you vote?
Aye.
Michael K,
Aye.
Laura,
Aye.
Debbie,
Aye.
Mike B,
Aye.
Pam, me, aye. All right, motion carries. Thanks, Mike.
Welcome.
Returning to the manager's report, B.
All right, this will be pretty brief. Just next up, we have our community foundation update. In Brown County, we have $19,761 as of the end of April. And in Monroe County, we have $31,295 as of the end of April. So we're looking, right about $50,000 there that we've brought in since we created those. So it's nice to see some funds coming in. Monroe County seems to be continually rising. Brown County, we've actually lost about $20 since the beginning of the year, just because we've had to pay the service fees and hasn't really brought money in, but it's good to see that we're getting some. For Barge Operations,
Absolutely.
we have completed the Chitwood channels. We removed 590 yards,
Mary Jane.
596 yards, and the odd numbers because we're using the small barge, which is 33 yards. So 596 yards. And then we also were able to complete a private dredging job in Salmon Harbor, where we took out 5 barge loads. So total for the year is 1,096 yards. And how's that working up there, Mike? Pretty good?
Oh, yeah. I had 18 inches. I've got 3.7 feet. So kudos to your crew.
Very good.
I did have a question since you brought it up. It almost appeared 8 years ago, the hopper dried out quicker. This was a lot soupier. So like something was, the drain holes may have been, I don't know if they were clogged or if you noticed any of that.
On the sediment, I'm not sure on that. I think the majority of that sediment was organic debris, like leaves and sticks, which was just kind of soupier in general. So I think that may have been it. Is just it wasn't.
I didn't know if
sediment.
it just that probably explains it. But it was just from the pictures that I saw, it was real wet, real soupy.
It was almost all organic matter up there.
Okay.
But
I think we're all pleased. I haven't heard anything other than we're happy to get in and get out. So
very good.
Hopefully we can go another 8 years.
All right.
Mary Jane, were you trying to get a word in edgewise earlier and I missed you?
Yeah, I wanted to ask a question, and I think maybe I know part of the answer. Do we get from the foundations any kind of reports on the financial performance of those funds, or do we just have to go look on the websites?
I think we have to look on the website. I did sign up recently. Monroe County is offering a monthly update, but I believe the full financial
That's his name.
reports are only done, I think quarterly. I'd have to
Order,
follow up
yeah,
on
that would be my guess.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Sorry, I missed that.
And then after we're done with Chitwood, so actually tomorrow we're going to be taking the barge up and making sure we can fit the large one up the creek to get up to Dorothy Lane. There's going to be quite a few trees we have to move out of the way and some debris. But so we'll be up there starting the effort this week and should be digging by the beginning of next week in Dorothy Lane. So that'll be good to get up there. And we've never been there, so I'm sure those residents will be very happy.
Adam,
Yes.
how long do you think it's going to take to do the Dorothy Lane?
It's tough to say right off the bat. One of the residents up there has actually been doing some sediment removal on his own from land. I mean, I would guess about a month right off the bat. I'm just kind of pulling that out of my rump though. I'm not sure. I'd have to look up there to get it, but it's usually that channel with how long it is. I would estimate about a month to do the whole thing.
Is that the last of our access dredging?
That's the last one that we had, that we said we were definitely going to do this year. Once we finish that at the next board meeting, we'd mentioned adding a couple different zones to that, a few on Reed Point and then one on South Shore Drive there. But that was the second one of the ones that we set in stone for this year.
Well, I just think in terms of our priorities, we better not keep this other project, whatever we can be doing on the sediment management project, we should. But the Lake Health Group, I guess, will make a recommendation to the board on that.
Mike?
Well, just, in years past, we fought the operator having 3 other things going on, and now we have a full-time operator. I think we're going to be fine. Once he's full-time, he's not putting docks in, he's not selling docks, he's not harvesting crop. This is our full-time guy. So I think that's going to make a big difference in our production.
Well, I would think so. Our payroll costs are certainly there.
Yeah, right.
I agree.
If we can continue our private work, we've still got lists of private jobs to do. So I think if we can stagger some private work between LLCD work, I think we'll be in good shape. Maybe make up some of the loss.
I agree, Mike. I think we'll be able to knock out quite a bit up through September. Then I think once I meet with the Lake Health Task Group a few more times, I'll probably recommend towards the end of September that we do kind of transition and focus on that disposal site prep, just to see how much we can get done before actually contracting that out and driving that site down, or driving the price down on the site creation. But I think we'll be able to get quite a bit done this year, private and LLCD.
Will you be letting us know when we get those permits? I think you said it's 30 to 45 days. So in my mind, does that mean we would have a permit like mid-July?
Yeah.
Able to do that
one in July, and that's the Rule 5 permit, which is essentially it's what's called a stormwater pollution prevention plan, and that's to show where we're going to be disturbing land and to show the management practices we're taking to keep the sediment on the land. Once we have that in place, we can start the creation of the disposal site on the land-based one at least. So, yep. July sometime.
So that transition is something that will come to the board then in terms of priorities.
Yeah, we'll discuss it with the board. We'll finish up Dorothy Lane, maybe do some more private work on that. That's been working out pretty good, and then we'll come back to the board, and I would like to, the board to discuss it and say, all right, we're going to shift our focus to the development for the remainder of the season. That way we're all kind of on the same page.
Okay, thank you.
Is that all on the barge operations for now? All right. And then the last thing is vegetation control update. I did just send out an email. We will be out treating this Friday for a Eurasian milfoil. IDEM, or DNR rather, did request that we treat our milfoil first and then wait at least 20 days to treat our mixed vegetation areas. So on the map that was out there is what we do have for milfoil right now. It's been a little bit slow with getting the permit for this, and it seems like the whole world's a couple months behind, but we will be getting out this week to do another survey to make sure that we are included in everything in case anything popped up between our initial survey and the treatment. So we'll probably get out either tomorrow or Thursday at the latest to do another survey just to make sure we are treating everywhere that we can.
And you told me earlier there are no restrictions on this one to pets or people, correct?
Correct. I talked to them. There's no restrictions as far as contact. The only restriction that there was is a 24-hour irrigation restriction.
Is this the point at which we would have gotten that permit? Like, do we know we had that big discussion at board meeting, maybe our last in-person board meeting, about moving the line and then trying to get that approved? Has that been approved, or where are we at?
That has been approved. Yes. This is all wrapped into that permit. This treatment is for submersed vegetation, so it will not impact that maintenance line. But the whole permit is included. So when we do our treatment for lotus, which is generally later in August, I believe, we will be utilizing that new proposed maintenance line, or no longer proposed maintenance line.
Okay, thank you.
Good question. Those residents have been notified who were most concerned about it as well, Debbie, just FYI, up east of where we are. So
Okay,
we'll
well,
kind of,
good.
I'm sure they'll be monitoring the line closely as well. All right, that's the end of your report, Adam?
Yep.
Okay, you won't believe it, but this brings us to public comment. Alex, this is where you become the chair.
I'm sitting in a chair. There is a public comment from Brenda Pendexter and / question, I guess. So she typed, based on the board packet, if we're able to do a private bond, will it be necessary to use the overflow lake?
I'll go ahead and take that one.
Thank you.
So if we utilize the private bond, I do not think we will utilize the overflow pond during this round. I think we'll be able to fit all the sediment that we will get out of this first dredging project onto the land-based disposal site. So that is correct. If we utilize private bonding, we will not need to use the overflow pond.
So
Well,
let's stress that decision has not been made yet.
Correct.
And we don't have to, we aren't required to make that until, I believe, the end of August, mid-September, Adam?
That is correct. It's end of August, beginning of September is when the two timelines differentiate for the bonding, if we're going to go private or go through SRF.
Okay, so stay tuned, I guess I would say. Yes, Mike?
Was that timeline in the packet? Because I missed it. I didn't see it.
The timeline was not. I've sent it out to the board members though, so it should be in your email there.
There's one for each, Mike, one for SRF and one for open market.
Okay. So that was not the email. Let me go back and look.
She did have another question as well.
Okay, I'll come back.
I'll just call Adam and get him to send it to me again.
Yeah,
or
I'll send that to you again right after this, Mike.
Thank you.
Yes, Alex, you said there was another question?
Yes, it's Brenda again. If the decision on state revolving funds, so like if we choose to go with state revolving funds, I guess she's asking what does it mean? So what would be the mandatory use of the overflow pond?
So if we utilize the state revolving fund, they are essentially it's a wastewater grant or bond that we're looking at. It's for wastewater projects. So they don't consider dredging and dirt removal in itself as providing a benefit to water quality, just recreation. So they're hanging their hat on, we will utilize the overflow pond, we'll plant it and essentially create a treatment wetland where the vegetation would be able to uptake nutrients out of the water. So if we utilize SRF, that's kind of what they're hanging their hat on, and that's what is making us eligible for their funding, would be the creation of a treatment wetland to improve water quality.
Yes, Mike?
Well, I just think that I would add that you know, when you break down a pro and con list, the SRF is, I call it prevailing wage. Other people call it something else. But, you know, other than having a lower interest rate, the prevailing wage would put us probably a little bit over budget than what private financing would do for us. There are other things that Adam pointed out that aren't coming to me right away, but I think the prevailing wage takes us a little bit out of our niche. Even though it may be 1% more on our money, we wouldn't be looking at almost doubling our labor cost.
Well, I think
Or
that's
at least-
something that just has to be consired down the line when we make
Oh,
that.
yeah, I want the ladies.
Talked
that
about
is
it a
for the
lot.
ladies, Debbie, that's
Yeah.
basically for the ladies. That's,
Yeah.
you know, obviously a decision hasn't been made, and that's something we'll mull over the next 2 or 3 months, but we've all talked about it in our little groups, and you know, I don't see how, I'll stop right there, but it certainly just seems like a deal breaker to have to pay that extra wage for the SRF, for me.
Well, we'll lay this all out over time. It'll be a board decision, to be sure. And
Absolutely.
so
That was for the ladies, Madam Chair.
I know, no, I totally appreciate it, but I want to make sure we understand that this
Well-
is going to be vetted, thoroughly vetted.
Right.
Debbie?
And the only thing I was gonna say, and Mary Jane, you might be able to articulate it better, or Mike. It's my understanding that the only thing SRF would require that we use it now. We're not saying never say never. It's not that we don't need to use it. It's that we wouldn't be required to use it. Am I misstating that?
No, I think that's correct. And I
Thank you.
appreciate your confidence in my ability to explain it, but Adam probably is better.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, the permitting is going to be there for the potential to utilize it in the future. But if we use SRF, we have to use that site first. If we don't, we would utilize the land-based site first, and then we would assess that need in the future.
And one of the things that I don't think we stress enough is if we used the overflow pond, and Adam said it, but it's always kind of like, we would vastly improve the quality of the water in the overflow pond. And we always seem to skim by that. So I just want to make sure everybody understands that.
Thank you. Anybody else? Hi, yeah, Alex, got another one?
Steve Langdon would like to know if buoys will be set up along Point Eidolon.
Yeah, we can get out there and look at it. I'm assuming it's the orange channel marker buoys.
I would assume so.
Yeah, we'll get some out there, Steve.
What about around that point? Does anybody, Steve, can you ask Steve if he's been around there? Because that thing keeps filling back in.
Do you want me to type it?
No, that's all right. Perhaps he'll
He can hear you.
confirm
Maybe he can
or
hear.
deny.
Yeah, he
That's
he
okay.
can hear you.
Yeah, he can hear me.
I gotta go.
Oh, okay, Mike.
Thank you,
Be
Mike.
safe. Thank
Bye,
you.
Mike.
Bye, Mike.
Bye-bye.
Be safe.
I would say, Pam, that I'll mute
Yeah,
Mike's real
see if you
quick.
can, wow.
Do you think he's
There's
gonna
your first-
disconnect?
Your first responders in action, guys. Look at that.
I will say, Pam, that we took the large barge up to the east side of Point Eidolon to remove some trees up there. So you got at least 4 foot, 40 feet wide to get around there. So hopefully
That's great.
everything
I
out
appreciate
the way.
knowing that. Yeah, my son said you were up there getting with the pontoon as well. So we appreciate that. A lot of trees seem to get wedged along that shoreline, as you know. All right, anybody else? Yes, Alex?
Brenda would like to know what direction the board is leaning.
I don't believe we can answer that right now for aforementioned reasons and for information still coming in. Would anyone else care to comment?
I agree.
It'll be a
I
decision
agree.
made in the future.
Totally neutral then.
Yeah, I think we're still in the process of evaluating. So until we have all the information, I mean, I don't really have a feeling one way or the other.
Yeah, and I would agree with that.
Me neither.
Works for me.
All right. Anybody else, Alex? Are we good?
That's all the comments I have right now.
Okay.
My dog may have a comment in a moment.
Oh, Cooper. All right. Well, that brings us to we're going to try this as I emailed you all. I am very hopeful that we will be able to meet in person on June the 20th, Saturday at 10 for the first of our regular summer meetings. As discussed with Adam and Mary Jane, however, we do not feel it's prudent to have a picnic as we normally would. I'm sad about that, but I think in the interest of not moving too quickly, that's probably the right call. Obviously, if things change between now and then, we will respect whatever the guidelines are, and we will respect the social distancing and the rules about gatherings at that time. I can't think of a better place to start again, though, than an open air shelter house in terms of safety and health concerns. Does anybody else have any other thoughts on that? Debbie, you look like you're thinking hard.
Oh, I don't know. It's just a developing situation, you know.
Absolutely. And we
I
will
was-
not meet, if it's not safe, we won't do it. You know, it's not worth it, but I hope that it may be okay by then. We'll just, once again, stay tuned and we will update you as we get closer. You know, we do have some older folks in our freeholder base, so I would be concerned primarily for them. So we'll take all that into consideration, certainly.
Yeah, you'd have to do all the social distancing and everything.
Tape on the floor, you know,
yeah.
masks, maybe we would need to try to provide.
Yeah.
We can talk about that down the line, and it's only 3 weeks away, so it's not that far down the line. So we'll keep in touch.
Laura, what are you doing at the marina now? Have you changed your practices? Is that okay if I interject that, Pam? Or we?
Yeah, absolutely. Sure,
Okay.
absolutely.
It's sort of business as usual here. A lot of people wearing masks that come in, and I'm limiting the number of people that can be in the store at one time. But it's, you know, over the holiday weekend, a lot of people were just not paying attention to the distancing, not wearing masks, and you know, they're right on top of each other outside. Nothing I can do about that. So it's just, you know, I just keep trying to remind people distance and wearing a mask is a good idea. So.
Well, I noticed, Adam, I got that message that the beach wasn't supposed to open till like yesterday, right?
Correct.
But it was packed all weekend. I mean, we were down there.
So I'll talk, Alex may be able to talk on it too, but I will. Yes, the plan and the health regulations say that we couldn't open up till June 1st. The Monroe County came out and they were actually allowing the places to open up early on that Saturday. So we did not advertise it, but Alex gave me a call up and said that the health inspector said that we actually could open on Saturday rather than Monday. So we figured it was a good chance for a soft opening for 2 days. So we were charging, we were making money, and the permit was active. But since we had advertised so far for Monday, we didn't put out any kind of public notices on that, just to ease into it a little bit. And this is Alex's first time running the show and opening up without me here, so it went smoothly.
Do we have like, are we doing everything we need to with cleaning the bathrooms and sanitizers and whatever's required? I mean, I have no clue, you know.
Yeah, we have signage all over, going out there, and people have actually been real respectful. We ask them to stay to their family groups, space out between groups. We have them hitting the bathroom every 2 hours to sanitize all the surfaces, all the hand surfaces. So we've stepped up the sanitization, which I don't think anybody would complain about. I think I think we're good to go. I mean, I think as far as what we can do, we're doing it, and just got to hope that people and will kind of space out and work with us. But it seems to be going pretty good so far.
Seattle's doing crop circles in their parks to identify zones that people can be in and stay out of.
Oh,
Oh, really?
really?
I'm not advocating for that, but that was what.
I had not seen that. Huh, interesting. All right, if there are no further, sorry, Alex?
Oh, I was just gonna say that both of our bathrooms, the soap and the hand dryers are touchless as well. So
Sweet.
Good.
That's a good thing.
plenty. And I was out there all day Saturday and Sunday, just running around in the gator, making sure people were spread apart. And they're all being really respectful, and we didn't really have any confrontation at all this past weekend with opening.
Good.
Good. I think people are nervous, and I think that's not a bad thing. It's no fun, but I think as we get back, we want to see a little bit of that. So, well, if there are no further comments, appreciate you guys' time. I would appreciate a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Michael. Laura, seconds. All right. All those in favor, Mary Jane,
Aye.
Michael K,
Aye.
Laura S,
Aye.
Debbie,
Aye.
and I'll be an aye. And thanks you guys for your time. It's only 5:07. Appreciate the public joining us as well. And let's hope we can be together in June.
All right. Thank you. Record
Good
time.
Good
Yeah.
night.
But
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.